What's up YouTube? It's Vatsim dude here. I'm back with another video, and this is a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a VFR tutorial. Just going over basic stuff that you'll need, whether it be Vatsim, real life. Um, I am a student pilot. I am about to finish up my private, um, which I only did in about 2 months or so. Um, and honestly, the reason why I finished it so fast is because of Vatsim. Just training and stuff even before I got to where I'm at now. But that's aside from the case. So I'm in the Archer, as you guys can see. Um it's a really good plane. I don't know why these are strapped down, even though that is what would happen in real life, which is kind of weird. Um but yeah, so our Archer looks 10 times different. We don't have the wheel socks. I hate to look at those. Those are probably the ugliest thing to see in real life. But anyways, aside from that, everything else is pretty properly modeled. Couple things missing: the strobe light. It's not just a up or down. It's a up, and then you have your off in the middle, and then it will be a fin strobe down. Um, Otherwise than that, we don't have this. We just have our transponder, and the only difference is because we have a glass cockpit, meaning we have our PFD that would sit right here, our MFD would sit right here, our G430. We have two of these that would sit literally right in this area right here, and then we'd have our transponder right here, and we would just have our flight instruments going all up and down. Anyways, beside the point. So moving forward, we're gonna get started. Today's gonna be our traffic pattern work. All the comms that you need, comms, how to fly, proper traffic pattern, and learning the ins and outs and little tricks that you can use, whether it be on VATSIM, on IVAL, or in real life. So I'm gonna get this thing started here. We're gonna start the better mass alternator. Fuel pump come on. Strobes will be in the down position. Mags will start coming on. Want to test that? That's good to go. Avionics master can come on. Pitot heat off and on. That is good to go. We don't need that. That's not in there. Air conditioning, and that can go up. We're good to go with that. And that's good to go. Everything is set. Let's get the altimeters. And booyah, right there. So, just a few things that we can go over. Um, Most of you guys should know. This is obviously your clock. When we check, we'll say we have a sweeping hand. We're indicating no airspeeds, no climbs or descents. Our altitude is 75 feet within the airport's assigned altitude. We're indicating no climbs or descents, like I said again, with these two, but these will be in the MFD, and we actually can move this because we never have it right there. There we go. Now we got everything climbing. Oil pressure. I do not know why that is so low. That's very, very weird. Pitot heat. Vacuuming up. We don't have that. Never shows up. Oil pressure. Yeah, it's a little certain stuff that is in the plane is not simulated in real life, which kind of hate that I can't do what I need to do, but it gets the job done. Um, this is on our comes in the air data computer, and it takes everything from outside. It's on the where am I looking right now? It's on the left side, under this wing. There's a temperature probe that sits like right here, and it takes it, puts it into the air data computer, and that's what gives us our PFD, so we can see everything. So to continue, you'll go mixture full, and I gotta change that. Mixture will go full, and we'll do throttle to full strokes. That's 1 and 2. Let me hide the mouse so you guys can see exactly what everything is doing. There we go. And then parking brake is never, ever, ever gonna be on. You always make sure that's off. You'll go brakes or hold. Open the window, clear the prop area. This is for real life stuff. Make sure you always look around, clear the prop area before you even turn on. Do your 360. Nobody's walking around. We're in the corner, which is good. Make sure no planes. My airport's pretty busy. This airport that I fly off, so it's always busy. Anyways, we can go and get this thing started. So we come up here. If it's cold, which it's hot in Florida, which is odd, we'll just go ahead and start it, and it'll start. And we'll kick it up to about 1,000 here. Keep it at 1,000 so it doesn't die. Now, as you can see, everything's climbing up. Oil temperature, that's climbing. I don't know why that's so low right now, but it should never be this low. Fuel pressure's good. Oil pressure's in the green. We are good to go. Everything's all set up here, so we can go and start a taxi, and we can keep it slow. I don't have my track IR on, so it looks kind of weird. We'll come over here. Plane is pretty. Its controls are very touchy and feeling. I've made my sensitivity a little bit better, but aside from the point, we're going to kick this thing around right here. Perfect. And we'll come to a start. Now, usually in real life, the brakes don't just, you can't just do that. It wouldn't do that. It would take a whole lot to press down the brake switches. Why I don't really like that. Anyways, though, so fuel pump would be essentially off from that point. We would turn it off, check the pressure, make sure everything's good. So fuel pressure's still good to go. Everything's a little bit rising. Then we'll turn it on, make sure the mixture is full. And we would actually lean the mixture before, but in this scenario, I'm not gonna lean the mixture. Anyways, though, so we'll go prop 2,000. And this is, I'm pretty sure it's in the Cessna, but this is for your Archer work. And we'll go up here. So what you're doing is you're grounding the left and you're checking the right mag, making sure that it's good. As you see, that's a little bit drop. That's good. You ground the right, check the left. We got a 75-foot drop right there. That's pretty good to go. We'll come in. We'll check the carburetor heat. We got our 50 foot or 50 RPM drop. That's good right there. Make sure we check the instruments. Fuel pump can come off. Make sure checking the fuel pressure. It's kind of climbing up a little bit, which is not realistic, but anyways. So we'll go power down to 1,000. There we go, and we'll lean the mixture here. Should be perfect right there. Alright, so we're good to go. And in this point, we'll look around, check left, behind, check right, and check behind that way. And we'll go in and start our taxi. Now, I'm taking out less than 1,000 power here, which is enough. There's no big plane, but this plane is actually at our airport, and it's the ugliest thing I've seen. Anyways, though, so there'll be a whole bunch of archers just sitting around here. Make sure we're clear on that side, which we essentially would be clear. We wouldn't be clear on that side for some reason. So that is actually a signature. Come over here, we'll stop, make sure we're not kind of blocking the way. You never want to block a taxiway, which I'm kind of doing, but for the sim purposes, don't block, or for real life purposes, do not block the taxiway. Anyways, we'll come here, we'll say St. Pete ground, Archer 598 Delta, we're at the south ramp with information alpha, looking to pick up our, not pick up actually, you'll say VFR departure in the pattern. Make sure you specify that you want the pattern. If you want to depart to the west, east, east, west, north, and south. I don't know why I stumbled on that. You want to make sure you specify exactly where you're going and what you're doing, especially VFR. And at a busy Class D, we're right next to Tampa. So if we say, hey, we want a VFR departure, we'll be like, well, where are you going? And you say, well, we're going to the north, and you climb up and they haven't said you're cleared into the Bravo. Well, you just got yourself a beautiful deviation, which you don't want. So we'll say VFR departure, standing pattern. Now the next thing you want to say is, do you want touch and goes? Do you want stop and goes? Do you want full stop taxi backs? Or do you just want a full stop? Full stop taxi back mean you do your traffic pattern, come in, you land, you'll come back, and I'll show you all of them. Touch and go, your regular touch and go stuff like that, stop and go. You'll stop and then you go. But as a student pilot, at my school, you're not allowed to do that, so I've never done those. And the last one is just a full stop, meaning you'll just come back and, like I said, I'll do four of each. I'll do one of each so I can show you guys. Anywho, ground will come on and say 598 Delta. Taxi to runway 4 or 36. For this matter, it will be runway 4 for pattern work at our airport. And he'll say, taxi runway 4 via Alpha, which is right here. We'll taxi runway 4 via Alpha and squawk, I don't know, 1200, VFR squawk code, which probably won't be it. It'll be a different number. He'll say, ground 598 Delta. Taxi to runway 4 via Alpha. You'll put in your squawk, so 1200, and you'll make sure you repeat that. Make sure you repeat the squawk so they know. After that, you're good to go. He's cleared you out the ramp into the taxiway, and that means you're good to taxi. So as we continue on, we have Airbuses and Boeings at our airport. Not American, though, Allegiant, and they're very sporadic when they come, so make sure you check them left and right. Um, Now, when we get here, it's very important. So in real life, you may be wanting to put in some frequencies, some stuff like that. When this plane comes like that, you put in your frequency. You do everything that you need to do. Frequency. If you're doing a cross country, make sure you put in whatever you need to put in. You put that in now. You want to be able to not have to look over the cowling and have to get up out your seat to look at the whole short line. You always want to be able to see it way out in front of you. Anywho, so before takeoff, you do your flight control check, all that great stuff. Look behind, that's all good to go. All right, now a big kicker. I'm not gonna do the trim tab because it won't let me trim. Anyways, though. So, next thing you'll go mixture full, and you'll change your frequency as soon as you stop. It's very important because the controller can say, like right before you change, actually, you can be on ground and you can be pulling up to line, say 590 Delta, you ready to go, and you wouldn't know, and then it'll just be plain silence. So then you would have to call. If you catch it at the right time, sometimes it'll be like 590, are you ready to go? Like, yeah, I'm ready to go, and you'll get immediate takeoff because mainly there's probably somebody on approach. You might just want to get you off the runway a little bit quicker. Um, Stuff like that. So make sure that you change your frequency as soon as you get there and you stop. Okay, so to continue, you got everything set. In our plane, we're able to essentially bug the winds. So if winds are 210 at 5, we would know where the wind is coming from, where we can prepare for. So when you're taxiing, if it's 210 at 5, you can say, left yoke and full aft, or right down and full down. So that's how it would go based on the winds. Anyway, so we're not going to do that here. Anyways, let's get this going. Fuel pump can come on. Landings and strobes can come on. Make sure that's on the right one. That's good to go. Mixture is full. That I don't know what that is over there, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And we're gonna go. So let's go. There's four types of take, or I think I said that wrong. There you have your
approaching runway 04.
That's for flight, but you have a soft field, which means you'll be full aft. You won't stop, and you'll climb up, which I do want to show you guys probably in the next tutorial. And maneuvers and takeoff and landings. I'll probably do a short field landing actually. Anyways, though, so you have that. You have your short field takeoff. Oh Lord.
Entered runway 36.
You have your short field takeoff, and you just have your normal procedural takeoff. So anyways, we're gonna do it the way that our school tells us to do it, which is the wrong way, essentially. And we'll go prior to 2000, which is not the wrong way actually. It's actually a really good way. Prior to 2000, instruments are in the green. God, I can't speak. Full power. Oh Lord. Rudder pedals a little bit. Okay, so our rotate speed is at 60. So We'll climb up, and that's never gonna happen. And we're flying. And we'll keep a full power climb at 76. As you can see, the winds are a little bit kicking today. And by now, I would have already done my trim, which I think, yeah, I think I do have trim actually. Oh, okay, so I do have trim. So I'll trim for 76. Right now, I'm not touching the yoke. If I want to go down, of course, I just go down. And we're just pitching 76. So as soon as we get, actually passed it already, we would already start a turn at 300 feet below your assigned altitude. So that's 700 feet. We passed that, which is a-okay. When we get to 1,000, we're gonna pull the power back to 2,000, and We're gonna pitch power trim for 90 knots at 1,000, and we're gonna keep on turning. Now with the turn, you want to make sure you're looking back, making sure you're squared up with the runway here. Once we square up here, we're good to go. As you can see, I have a little bit lower, but it's still fine. It's good to go. I'm not really flying the plane right now. Once we get a little bit out, we can go in and start our right turn. Now you're looking for, there's two ways you can do this. You can start your turn based off a couple of things. Your wind, how your wind is looking. You can do it based off the traffic that's in front of you, which is another big thing that you want to look for. And then you could also, do it kind of based on how you feel. So I like to fly mines with the wing in the center line of the runway. That keeps me, in close with the runway, and make sure I'm not, too far. If God forbid, engine failure happen, I can just happen to just, move a slight turn right here, and I can come back into the airport, no issue. That's another thing. Now with comms, it's a tower. I would say, or he would say, hey, you're clear to land, runway 4. That means that at the 1,000 footers, I would configure. Now, if he says extend your base, that means that the first thing you need to do, you're looking to see if there's any traffic that's on final. Make sure you have them. If there's traffic further out, make sure you're looking for them. It's aviate, navigate, communicate. So make sure you're doing all that. Make sure you're looking for the safety of your plane first. So if he just says, "Hey, you're cleared to land," you'll repeat back 590 Delta, clear to land, runway 4. Make sure you repeat back the runway because multiple runways can cause a big airport incursion. So we'll go power out, and we'll hold up to 1,000. We can go flaps 10, flaps 25. Those are in. Bump the speed up to about 1,500, and we can start a descent and start a turn. As we turn, we can do that, and we're gonna stall. Alrighty, so we're about to stall. So then you just bump the power up, and you want to be on 76 all the way in, which I wasn't because I wasn't paying attention, and that can increase in a stall, which you don't want, especially this low to the ground. You don't want to stall because you have to really go into your pair acronym, which I'll get into that when we get into stalls, and your maneuvers and stuff like that. So, anyways, we're flying kind of square. Plane's a little bit buggy, but we're getting down. So now this is when you're, if you started with IFR on Vatsim, for the I know for a lot of Vatsim lovers, you started with IFR. This is when your pappies come into play really really crucially. So as you can see, ortho shows it properly. You have trees that are right here that are really could be really dangerous if you're coming in too slow. So right now I'm at 70. I'm at my final approach speed. I'll bump it up a little bit. We're gonna be three. I like to say three white and one red for one simple instance that I can always pull power and I can pitch up and the plane's gonna come down. Or number two, I can go just like this and I would already start losing it. Anyways, so that's for another thing. That's your forward slip. So I'm coming down, pointing down at the numbers. I'm gonna go power out, and I'm just gonna point it right down. It's a little bit touchy, but I'm just gonna point it right down. And I'm looking for these right here. They're aiming points. As you can see, it kind of not just climbing the ground. In fact, this would be a go around, but for this instance, I'm not, because it can be a little bit suspect with the plane. So this right here, you'll go full aft on the yoke, and you'll start braking. You'll slow down pretty fast. Now, I do not like this archer for simple reason of it's hard to practice your approaches in this. And that's why I tell everybody when you're doing your work, don't practice to land, practice to learn to fly, because landing is not going to be the same, as you can see. So we'll come here, we'll flaps up, make sure slightly lean, landing strobes off, fuel pump off, trim to the center. We're good to go. Now this is called a full stop taxi back, and you'll say ground if there's ground at your airport. Regardless, for Vatsim, it won't be ground, it'll be center. So you'll say center, ground, tower, whichever one's online. Looking to taxi back to the active. In this case, for us, it'll be we'll taxi back to runway 4. So we'll say St. Pete ground, 590 Delta, clear at Golf 3, taxi back to runway 4. Make sure that that is clearly said. Golf 3, for our instance, taxi back to runway 4 so they know which way you're going. Come back with your taxi route and you're good to go. So, um, when you're doing this, it's a couple of things. So on the landing, you notice that I pulled back very fast. Now, or I didn't pull back very fast, but you've seen that the plane went up very, very fast. Now, in real life, that doesn't happen. If I pull back on the yoke, it's not just gonna just come fly up. It's gonna, be very slightly pull up, and it'll just kind of touch down pretty
Approaching
easily.
runway 18,
Now we'll get into the
36.
rest of the landing stuff a little bit later. Crossing the runway, a lot of people don't know this actually. Now landing lights, nabs, and strobes all on. Let them know that you're passing. A lot of people don't do this in Vatsim actually, which I see a lot. Even though like the AI essential planes aren't really that
Entered
modeled
runway
properly,
18, 36.
you can still see lights, and those don't come on a lot. Um, Big misconception that's very important, especially at nighttime. Um, that you know that somebody's crossing just in case, God forbid you're at an uncontrolled airport and somebody forgets to call out. Now you have, a runway incident, which you don't want. Now we're coming up to our enhanced line. Everything come off, and we'll turn back right on alpha, or left on alpha here, and keeping the taxi speed a little bit fast. Now this Archer is okay modeled, not the best. Couple flaws in it. Like I said, pulling back, too hard, and even on the ground, if I pull back, like this, I won't. It won't just fly up out there. And if I keep it at, 1,000, which it's less than that, I wouldn't be flying down. I would be moving at like 5 knots if I, have it low. Anyways, like I said, so we're stopping. We can see the line. Don't have to look up. When we get back to the runway, we'll say 590 Delta, holding short runway 4, ready to go when able. For this reason, there's probably traffic that's landing. If you can see them, just wait until they land. You don't have to call it out. You don't have to say, hey, we're in sequence. When you get up to the line, just say, hey, holding short, runway 4, ready to go when able, so that they know, hey, that you're holding short, you're ready to go. When they call, they just say 590 Delta, clear for takeoff. All I gotta say. Right traffic approved. That's one thing I did forget to mention. So when they say right traffic approved, um, in the Archer we have this up here, and what we do is this little thingy, the jigger right here. It'll go left if we make left traffic, right for right traffic. I also do this, so left, right, because I obviously don't need air. I can just do that, and there's air just, suction right in. Anyways, so we can continue on, make sure it can go full, and the fuel pump come on. Don't quote me on this. I have actually left the fuel pump off during takeoff, but we're not gonna talk about that because we won't. Well, anyways though, so clears for takeoff. Now you're ready to go. We can do just a normal takeoff, no flaps, normal. You prep 2000,
Approaching
continue
runway
on.
04.
Four flight, we got it. We got it. Trust me, we know.
Entered runway
I know
04.
I'm entering runway four. That's another thing. Just makes you verify the runway. Four flight does that for you. Clear your approach. Clear your runway. Make sure it's not there. Nobody's on the runway. Everybody's off. Make sure you check 36,
Approaching
18. Make
runway
sure that's good.
36.
All right. So now we're on the runway. We'll kind of line up center line here. For this instance, we'll just go
Entered
ahead
runway
because we're running out of runway
36.
space.
8,000
We'll
feet
go up
remaining.
to 2000 here. I need track IR, as you can tell. Check it. Instruments are in the green, and we can go full power. So as you can see, 60 is coming up pretty shortly here. I'm holding a lot of right rudder, and this is because we have a right turn tendency on the plane based on how the prop swing. The prop. Sorry about that. The prop angle of attack. It's a lot. Relative wind, stuff like that. You'll learn that good stuff. And I'll probably teach it. So, anyways, as you can see, today's temperature is fairly decent, so our climb won't be as proficient. But anyways, we're at 700. We can go in and start our right turn. Um, just looking left, turning left or turning right, looking right, turning right, and clear right. As you can see, we come up, pitch down, power 2000. Now it's probably too low. Yeah, like I said, just tell by the sound of the plane. So pitch, I'm not flying the plane. It's just turning. I'm using rudders to turn, and actually we're coming a little bit, so I'll trim that out. As you can tell, I'm still not flying the plane. This is all rudder. Once I level it out, it's gonna be all rudder. Literally all rudder. I'm not flying the plane at all. And we'll start a turn. This one we use the yoke. Uncontrolled. This is when you'll say, St. Pete traffic. We're turning downwind for runway 4. Right downwind for runway 4. Makes you clarify. Don't just say we're turning downwind because I'm gonna think, well, you could be on 1-8, and if that's the case, we're in trouble. We're in very big trouble. So you see I'm a little bit far, as you can tell, which is okay. It's perfectly fine to be a little bit further out. Gives you a little bit more time if you're not very quick. If you first start your traffic patterns, I was wide. It can be a hinder. Anyways, though, so you see I'm not really flying the plane here. Just going along. If it's uncontrolled, you'll just go and go through the regular stuff. So power can come out to about 1,500 or under 102, 10, 25. Those are in, as you can tell right here. Looks like it's in now. That's weird. All right, so 25 is in, as you can see right here. 25 is in. So we'll start ascent. When we get about 45 degrees from um, the touchdown zone, or sorry, the beginning of the runway. Sorry about that. Um, we'll look and say, okay, hey, we can make our turn. So about here, we can go and make our turn. We're gonna stall. You're gonna go power. If you know you're about to stall, you're getting low on speed. You're gonna put in power. Don't just go like that. You'll have a big issue. Just put in power. Pretty simple. Level out the plane a little, put in power. You're good to go. See at 1,000, at 1,500, I wouldn't be like this. It would be more of it would be a 76 all the way down. No issue. In the turns you'll lose airspeed, but that's something else to talk about. Based off your wind and how the wind's going over their wings. Anyways, though, so right now we're going to start our turn. I don't know the winds, so it's kind of hard for me to judge. But we'll start our turn. Um, and this one, I'm gonna see if I can get this down perfectly for you guys. Show you what it's kind of like. Um, I showed you guys the forward slip. Um, see if it's a little bit of a
Short
crosswind, so I
final
can
runway
I can put that
04.
in. Power
Kilo
can come
Papa
out.
India Echo.
Um,
Warning. Airport not in current
we
route.
can go power all the way out. We can go a little bit nose down. We're fine, and we're just aiming for the numbers at this point. Looks like we got Fort White. We're still good. So I'm using my right and left, my ailerons to keep me centered. I'm losing my right rudder to keep me center line. So this is just This is what happens in everything. Um, as you can see, I'm just pitching back up now. We're in ground effect, keeping the right rudder left. I want to land on the left wheel first. Oh, I'm about to land on the right, and I got it better actually. Anyways, as you can see, that's a mistake. You want to land on the whatever. This is how I go by. So a trick that I use here is whatever wing goes down is the wheel that wants to touch down. So what I mean by that, and actually I'll just go into a touch and go make this quick. Flaps up and full power. A lot of right rudder again. Oh yeah, we're up. So what I mean by that is if I go this wing down, I want to have my left wheel touching down first. As you can see, if I go this ring to the right, I want to have my right wheel touching down first. If I don't need crosswind, we put both of them down in the center line. This guarantees that you don't fly off the runway, etc., etc. Um, Now I've discussed that in a new video. So here, pitching 76, 700, looking right, turning right, and clear right. Um, as you can see, we're starting to come up on our 1000. Still climbing, still making this turn. Using more rudder than yoke. As you can see, we come out with power, coming up to 1000, and we're at 2000, and we're 90. Again, I'm not flying the plane. I don't want to fly this plane. The plane is going to want to fly itself. That's what a plane wants to do. It wants to fly. Let it fly. I'm gonna keep this a little bit shorter. We're gonna do. It's gonna be the last one around. And I hope that it kind of clears up everything. So this one we're going to do. Probably my most favorite landing. And it's actually not the best, but it's your flaps 40 landing, and this is essentially your soft field landing, or not soft field, short field. So if you have a runway that's probably 3,000 feet long, you don't want to just say, okay, hey, I want to drag this out. The same thing for if you're flying an Airbus or a Boeing, you don't want to say, hey, let me just go in and float this bad boy out because I want to get a negative 50, and I want to look good. There's sometimes, a lot of people say, Ryanair stuff. The reason why Ryanair is like that is because they land at short fields. So if they say, okay, hey, I'm gonna float this one out, um, it's gonna end pretty bad. So, anyways, as you can see, we passed our 1,000 footers. Our aiming point's right here. So we can go. Power can come out a little bit for this time. Hold the attitude up. Now we can go flaps 10, flaps 25. Those are both in. We can go in and start descending down. We're pitching for 76, and we can go in and start our turn. Now look, clear the approach, make sure that everything's good. This more looks like how I kind of fly it in real life. Anyways, though, so we're coming down. 76 right on the dot. Everything's money. I'm not really touching the yoke. I'm not really flying. I'm just keeping my hand here, guiding the plane. Essentially, is what I'm doing. As we get closer, I kind of use points. That I know kind of when I need to turn, whether it be a regular turn or not. Kind of level it off here. Don't want to go too low, as you would have those trees that are right there that is kind of a big hinder. So now in a short field, right? Um, as you'll see in a bit, when we get to short final, everything's good. Mixture full. I'm gonna have mixture full. I didn't say full any checklist. Mixture full or flop 25. Mixture full. Fuel pump is on. Before landing checklist is complete. So with this, I get short final. I'm going flaps 40. Now this is gonna be a lot of drag on this plane. So the plane's gonna automatically want to slow. As you can see, I have a lot of I'm gonna need a lot of right rudder, left aileron. So as I'm coming down, the check ride has it. You have to hit the 1,000 footers right over there, and you have 100 feet. In commercial, you have 50 feet. So you have to be real precise with your power management. As you can see, coming down. I'm gonna hit it almost directly on it. So we're gonna put it in that. Oh no, power come out, and it'll be a hard landing, essentially. And we'll do one more just for good measures. Flaps all the way up, full power. Um, that's basically what you're doing, and we can go and pull up. That's basically what you're doing there. Um, Now we can focus on the landings here. Um, and I want to talk through those because as you guys can see, I do post a lot of landing videos on my page. So I want to talk you guys what's going through my head when I'm landing the plane. And I'll probably do another one in an Airbus because that's the main one I fly in the sim. As you can see, 700. We're making our right turn, 300 feet below our traffic pattern altitude. So I was 1,000 feet above, which you guys probably should know. As we come up to 1,000, power can start coming out, start making our turn. We're sending ducks at 90, and booyah, power can come out. So right at 2,000, gonna keep this right here, just looking out, looking at the horizon. It's another big thing. This horizon will keep you level in flight. If I have this plane set and I have my eyes directly looking at the horizon, I'm gonna maintain 1,000. I'm not touching this plane. I'm literally just, I'm on the trim right now. That's it. Now I'm just kind of leveling out. Now I'm making a right turn here as we get pretty far. This is not what Florida looks like. I'm sorry. That there's no water right there. This looks god awful. But anyways, yeah. And this is ortho. So a couple things when you're landing. A lot of people say follow the pappies. A lot of people say just follow 3 degree down to the runway and you'll be fine. I don't like either of those. I don't like following the pappies. They bring you right to the aiming point, which means you'll fly over the aiming point. You don't want to do that. Follow the 30-degree guide slope. Well, every published runway is supposed to be 30 degrees, but you have San Diego. I think Aspen's like really. I think it's like 6 or something like that. You have San Diego at 3.42. I think something like that. So it's pretty high. So that's why I don't follow those. I kind of I use them as a guide essentially. Power come out, flaps 10 and flaps 25. Both are in, and we're gonna make this a short. Um, so with the short approaches, you want to keep this, um, as it says, short approach. Keep your power up. This is more for like you got somebody coming in, business jets land here a lot. They're faster than us. We're at 76 knots. They're coming in 130, 150. Airbus, coming in 150. Sorry about that. So you're keeping it short. As we get close to the runway, and I forgot one thing. Make sure full. As you see, the mixture is full. Fuel pump is on before landing seconds complete. Clear your approach. You're good to go. Um, I keep the speed up in a short approach because I know I can burn it off when I pull out the flaps. So we're at flaps 25 now. I'll go flaps 40, put some more power in, keep it up, and it's basically a circle to land, essentially, in a VFR manner. So now we're making a circle, and we're gonna have to do some forward slipping here once we get there, and I'll show you guys kind of how that works. So in this case, we're going to go uh, left, left rudder, right, or oops, left rudder, right aileron, and it'll kind of just die down to the runway as you guys can see, and it'll turn back out here. We're good to go. Power can come out. We're gonna land a little bit long here, but that's fine. Um, Now I'm gonna be in ground effect here very shortly. As I get there, I'm going to roll it out, and I'm going to pitch up. Booyah, right there. And you're just gonna try and hold it up, and that's all it is to it. So, I mean, that's just the basics of travel pattern. Um, I do want to say that, I'm more here coming from a closer standpoint than with the learning. So, I have my check ride coming up. I want to be able to teach, which in turn helps me to remember what I need to do for my check ride, so that whenever I do become a CFI, I can say, hey, I've already taught this, I know how to teach it, and I can relay it, a little bit different. Everybody has a different perception of how they fly, but it's basic stuff. Comms are basic. Like I said, run through your comms. I'll say this again. When you get out the ramp, whatever if you're in signature, if you're just had a GA ramp, you'll say whichever ramp, whether it be south, north, west, east. Say what ramp you're at. That's the first thing. The second thing, what are your intentions? So, do you want to do a VFR departure to the west for your cross country, or are you going to a practice area? You'll say departure to the west. For us, it'll be departure to the west for me. Um, and you're gonna say, if you're doing traffic patterns, say VFR for traffic patterns, and you want to state whether it's a full stop taxi back, a touch and go, stop and go, or you want to just do a full stop. Those are the four things that you need to know: full stop, touch and go, um, full stop taxi back, stop and go. You need to know that. And I mean, that's basically it. If you guys want to see another tutorial, I can do my next one that I planned on doing was VFR cross country, um, or VFR maneuvers. So that would be, which is mainly probably before cross country, honestly. Um, your power on, power off stalls, um, steep turns, and S turns.
Approaching runway 18.
I know,
36.
at flight, I know. And stuff like that. So
Entered runway
there are
18.
maneuvers that you're gonna need,
36.
and then go over falling leaf, basically what it is to stall in a spin. So like I said, the first two ones that I was getting pretty low, and if I would have kept turning, I would have just stalled and the plane would just dive down to the right, and you don't want that to happen ever, real life or not. Sim, don't look to practice a stall. You want to understand what it is to stall and how to get out of it. So that's when you come in with your pair acronym. And like I said, I'll teach that in the next video. But for now, leave a comment, some feedback of what you guys think. If you want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll keep dropping videos for you guys. So thank you guys very much. And I will see you guys very soon.